Well, whenever VW announces any new car launch in India, the entire enthusiastic segment of the market takes notice because whatever cars they've launched have always had performance, a lot of torque and power, and of course, a lot of driving thrills associated with them. And now they've got the big daddy of performance, the new Golf GTI to India. Now, this car is currently in its 8th generation internationally. It's been selling since 1974 and it has over 37 million customers across the globe. So it's really the strongest selling VW car across the globe for the last 5 decades. And I have to say that in terms of looks also, it looks very well balanced car, very different from the usual. And it has, of course, that red strip running all across the grille because that's the characteristic of a Golf. Any generation has that red strip. It also has those plaid seats or those check seats inside, and it also gets the twin exhaust that any Golf gets across the globe. So it really is a performance-packed car. 265 bhp, 370 Nm of torque, a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine, and a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox. Those are the figures, and the important figure, of course, is 0 to 100 in 5.9 seconds, which really makes it a very good car in terms of straight-out acceleration. Yes, today we'll talk about the looks of this car, talk about the interiors, talk about the comfort, talk about the practicality, and also talk about its main highlight, the performance. My name is Ashish Mazzi. If you've come to this channel for the first time, then please do subscribe to it. If you've come here before but haven't already liked it or shared it with your friends, then please do share this video with your friends. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you want to get in touch with me directly and ask me any car buying questions over there as well. Let's get started with the new Golf GTI. In terms of looks, I think it looks very different, it looks very unique, and it looks very special, especially in this shade of grey, especially with those sleek lamps up ahead and those twin exhausts at the back. And of course, not to forget that red caliper, which tells you that this is a performance-oriented car. Let's get started with the new Golf GTI. Well, so now I'm inside the cabin of the VW Golf GTI. Now, the first thing which impresses me about any VW, it might be the Golf, it might be the Tiguan, it might be the Passat which used to sell in India, is this. Let me just tell you what it is. Ignore the warning signs and listen to this. Let me just switch the engine off completely. It just offers you a very reassuring and a very solid noise which gives you great confidence, especially when you will be traveling in this car with your entire family. You also get loads of equipment. You get tire pressure monitors, automatic headlamps, rain sensing wipers, cruise control, and of course you also get driver assistance features on this car like lane keep assist, speed warning, attention monitor, drowsiness monitor, and of course front emergency braking and adaptive cruise control is also something that you get. Now this screen is quite nice and large. You don't get too many buttons over here. The air conditioning is also controlled via the screen, and all the instrumentation, the different driving modes, everything is taken care via the screen. It's nice and easy to operate, intuitive as well. The only negative is this. Let me just show it to you. When you press this button over here, you can see the reverse parking camera is not high definition, and that's a major issue with all VW cars, and it's the same with even the expensive Golf over here. So this is something that VW needs to fix. They need to really offer you the best because this is a very premium product, and something like this does just erode that little bit of premium feel that you get inside the car. But other than that, it's nice. The quality of materials is absolutely first rate. Nice soft materials over here, and you also get Alcantara leather on the door pads. You also get felt lining inside the door pockets so that in case you have rattly bottles, they don't rattle with the plastics. And you also get Alcantara leather over here on the seats, along with this very nice check design. Now this, of course, white and black and red color has been a trademark of the Golf GTI interiors for a very long time, since a lot of generations, and this one also follows that same pattern. You also get other equipment over here on the center console like start stop button, the parking button, and of course the handbrake is electric, and you also get auto hold function along with a very sleek and very tiny gear lever over here, and the steering wheel adjusts for rake as well as for reach, and the seats also adjust for height, and you can easily find a nice and snug driving position, especially with these sport seats over here. So finding a comfortable and finding a nice position for yourself is a very breezy affair. Loads of equipment, loads of comfort, and loads of style inside this cabin. It feels very solid, it feels very European, it feels very business-like. It's a car which is meant for the track, and it's a car which is meant for purpose, and it just feels like that once you're inside the cabin. I'll give the cabin of this car a good score of 9.5 out of 10. If this rear view camera was any better, I'd give it a full score of 10 out of 10. Anyways, now let's jump in the back seat and see if that is as practical as the front ones are. Well, so I'm in the back seat of the VW Golf GTI, and the first thing you really appreciate about this car is the fact that you get ISOFIX points over here on the back seat on both sides. The front seat also has ISOFIX child seat, so it's quite easy to put a child seat because the doors are also nice and large, and the aperture is quite big. Apart from that, the seat comfort is quite good. The seats are generally very supportive, and you get a nice 90-degree angle, almost 90-degree angle for the knees and hip. It's not exactly 90 degree, but quite there. The front seats have been raised up so you can stretch your feet. You get AC vents. You also get 2 USB Type-C charging points over here, which you also get in the front. The windows are nice and large, so you don't feel claustrophobic at all. Alcantara leather on the door pads, big bottle holders, and of course a big and nice armrest over here where you can keep at least 2 or 3 big beverages. Now, the reason why I've pulled out the armrest and not telling you to have 3 occupants over here is because of a huge hump in the floor panel. So it's best to have this car 2 people rather than 3, because it really is a 2-seater and not, I mean, you can have 3 people, but for only short city trips. You can keep your files and binders over here and your cell phones on the top pocket on both the sides. A good score of 8.5 out of 10 to the Golf's rear cabin. Well, let's talk about the boot as well, because the Golf is also about being practical. Now, the way to open it is by pressing this Golf logo over here, and that's the case with most of the VW cars, especially with the smaller ones. Now, over here you can see the nice and square shape. It's a very square shaped boot. It's deep as well. You don't get too much of a loading sill, and you don't get a spare tire as well over here on this particular version. Maybe VW will give it to you at the dealership, or they won't. They haven't told us about it. But on this version, we don't get a spare tire. We do get the jack and the other stuff. So maybe they've taken it out just for the racetrack, and maybe they've kept it away because they wanted to give you the best performance by reducing the weight of the car. You can also do that if you want more performance and more space. Now, the best point is that there's no loading sill, and the car isn't very high up from the ground. It's not an SUV, so you can easily slide your bags in and take them out and keep them on that trolley without any fuss whatsoever. If you have your mother-in-law coming in from the airport and she's coming for 10 days, then 2 big bags or 3 big bags can easily be accommodated. But if she's coming 15 days or maybe 20 days, then tell her, to get those small bags, because my car will only accommodate very limited space. Anyways, if you want a mother-in-law to stay with you only for a couple of weeks, this is a great car. And if you want to go on those road trips with your family for the weekend, then this car will easily take up all your luggage. I'll give the boot of this car a good score of 8.5 out of 10. Now, enough of the practicality, enough of the features, enough about the seat comfort. Let's get to the exciting bit. Let's get to the driving of the Golf GTI. Well, so here I am driving the VW Golf GTI. Yes, this is the Golf GTI, and I have to say that if I had to describe this car's performance in just one word, then that one word would be simply effortless. Yes, it's an effortless car to drive. It's an effortless car to get to 250 plus kph. It's an effortless car for everyday use as well. Now, a lot of people might say that because it's got 265 bhp, 370 newton meters of torque, and it's a very quick car. Can I use it as an everyday car? How is the ride, first of all? Because mostly what happens is when manufacturers turn their everyday cars into hot cars or hot hatchbacks, so to say, the thing is that they sometimes stiffen up the suspension so much that it becomes jarringly difficult to sit in these cars, and your back starts to hurt. But thankfully VW hasn't done that. They've really worked out a very fine balance between performance, between overall dynamics, as well as comfort with the suspension. And I have to say that it's a very good suspension in that sense. What I do like about it is the fact that it's very comfortable, and even when you really do push it around the corners, and even when you take it on those broken patches of roads, it gives you a great sense of confidence. Yes, we've been driving this car on the Natrax facility today all day long. We took it on the high-speed testing facility as well, the high-speed bowl, and we did 267 kilometers, which is the top end of this car's speed limit. And I have to say that we could sustain speeds in excess of 220, 230 kph right through our time on the track. So it's a car which can do those sustained speeds without any fuss. If you're someone who's always in a rush, who always wants to go from Mumbai to Pune or from Delhi to Chandigarh, I will not really say that you should break the speed limit, keep it on the speed limit, but it's a car you can do that without taking a break, because the seats are very comfortable. It's very planted, very reassuring, and even when there were a little bit of crosswinds around, even then we could just push the accelerator pedal down all the way to the floor and keep it up to 250 kph, 260 kph really. So yes, being on the nat tracks means you can test the limits of the car, and that's exactly what we did today. And it's a very capable machine. Now 0 to 100 comes up according to VW in under 6 seconds, and even though I didn't test that exactly today, but I believe those figures can be achieved quite easily. What you'll also like is the very crisp steering wheel. It's as crisp as a bag of chips. And what you really enjoy is the 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. It's fantastic to operate. If you use the flappy pedals here behind the steering wheel, it's very quick-witted, milliseconds when you press the pedal here and the gears actually change. And of course, if you want to change the characteristic of the car, you can use the different driving modes. Choose the eco or normal mode if you don't want the exhaust note to sound very rough. If you really want it to sound like a lion, then put it in sport mode, and it just burbles up and spits out a lot of noise and a lot of characteristic. And this car really has a lot of character about itself. That's the beauty about the car. It's really a sports car which has been downsized slightly. You can feel it like it's a sports car package which has been downsized slightly, and you've given it in a package which is everyday hatchback. And that is something which a lot of customers, a lot of buyers will appreciate, because you can use this car on a daily basis, drive it down to office, drive it down to the mall. It's got a big boot. And when you're in the mood, you can also take it out on the racetrack once in a while, or you can just gun up those hills and push into corners and enjoy the very nice setup of this car. It's a very well engineered car, and that's the beauty about it. It just comes across as a very well sorted out engineering package in terms of performance, in terms of dynamics, and even in terms of the comfort setting, because usually, as I said, a lot of manufacturers, when they change their cars from normal everyday hatchbacks and they make them into sporty hatchbacks, they tend to just stiffen up the suspension, but not the case with VW. They've done a very good job with the suspension setup of this car, and I've really enjoyed driving it. Visibility is quite decent as well. The side view mirrors are decent. This one is also okay. But of course, if you have 3 passengers at the back, it will be difficult to see. But you do get ADAS features and of course chunky mirrors over here, so you can see your way around. I've enjoyed driving this car today. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I'll give it a very good score of 9.5 out of 10. You can sustain illegal speeds all day long without any fuss. Don't do it, but you can do that because it's a solid performance package. Thanks guys for watching. We'll stop the car now. As I said before, don't think of it as an expensive hatchback. Don't think of it as an expensive small car. Think of it as a sports car which has been slightly downsized and which offers you the practicality of 5 seats as well as a big boot